Man, I love that. That is just like the core of our business right there. Video dies, craziness happens, and you just keep rolling. You just keep rolling because that's what humans do, and I love those guys. So please follow them. Man, okay, we're going to pivot a little bit here. We're going to go into leading a digital community, which is probably the most important topic we're dealing with right now because we're like stuck being digital. Like this is we can't do what we used to do, man. We can't go hang out and some of us are doing it, and I'm watching you with no masks. But I'm thrilled for this next guy. Scott Groves has been somebody who I've followed in this business for a long time. I've watched what he's done. I've been a super big fan, and I've been most impressed with how this guy pours into digital communities, into Facebook groups to drive connection, to drive value. And let's get on what it's done to his business. Let's bring him on and talk about what it's done for his life. And let's see whose beard is better. All right, friends and professionals, in our next topic, leading a digital community. Man, nothing could be more important right now than your ability to lead a digital community in this land where everything's digital. And this guy, Scott Groves, has been a huge leader of that, leveraging Facebook groups and building massive amounts of influence with the people he wants to online. He's going to share all his secrets with you. Let's bring on Scott Groves, leading a digital community.
Yo, whoa, that was like a real intro. Bro, you were like doing some big boy shit on here.
I green screened that. Like I had like, oh man, I'm so proud of my little intro.
Some good stuff, bro. Congratulations.
See, I see you're trimming, man. You're keeping it clean and tight now. There's been a couple of videos where I was like, I think he's lost it.
Bro, I got this all cut and trimmed just for you. No, that's a lie. I got it for my wife. She said she wasn't going to make out with me until I clean this stuff up. So, yeah, you've motivated me to put in the facial hair. I can see my neck again, but luckily I'm still hiding the double chin. So life is good.
So, guys, for those of you who don't know Scott, this guy is just a leader of people. He's been pushing positivity, pushing connection, driving some of the biggest Facebook groups I've seen and been a part of. And I'd like to, in a minute, I'll have you break down what that means, Scott, and why you did that and all that stuff. But, you know, you're a coach, you're a loan professional, you're a leader of people, you know, husband, father, all that fun stuff. And I just think you're the man. So I think this is a really cool topic for the next 30 minutes on leading a digital community. I think that's hard. I think it's a new skill set. And I think you're one of the pioneers in it from my perspective. And so as we start, I want to ask some kind of queue up questions. Why did you start doing this? Like, why did you start building groups and creating connection? How do you continue to pour into it like you do? Because you just feed it all the time. You're always there contributing. And then what has it done for your life and business? And before you go, guys, I'm dropping in the comments right now on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, all of Scott's handles, his book, which is incredible. It's on my stand. You guys need to connect with this guy and see what he's doing. Like I said before, connect with great people and you get to learn what they're doing. So Scott, how's it going, dude?
It's going well, man. Thanks. I appreciate this. And this is a crazy world we live in where like, this is the new normal, you know, for 20 years, professionals, loan managers, everybody's been telling me like, just have a candy bowl on your desk at the real estate office and go to the coffee appointments and everything will be fine. And now it's like, no, now you need to know how to do this digital stuff. And I'm already got my assistant. I'm like, dude, check out StreamYard. I like how they're doing stuff. I got to get something similar to that. So one, it's super exciting. Two, it's, let's be real, super dangerous because all loan officers and most salespeople have shiny object syndrome. So I could totally blow off the rest of the day learning how to use StreamYard. And that's probably not the best plan for my realtors and my clients. But yeah, it's a brave new world, right? I think I read that somewhere once.
You think you did. So you started building Facebook group communities. What made you do that? Like, why were you like, I'm going to put time into this?
Yeah.
And then, you know, your latest one, Generate, is incredibly cool. Like I'm watching it all the time and people are just networking and growing. And so what has the effect been? Like, walk us through the process.
Yeah, so I got to give a big shout out to my friend, Hal Elrod. And Hal Elrod is the author of the book, The Miracle Morning. And about 6 years ago, through pure dumb luck, I ended up at one of his live events. It was actually the first live event that he had ever done. And it's because he had created this community on Facebook of people that had read the book, The Miracle Morning, and they were looking for some accountability partners. And I think way back then, he probably had 5, 6, maybe 10,000 people in that group. Now it's up to 250,000 people.
Jeez.
And one of the things that Hal said is he said, you know, there's a guy named Dan Kennedy who's written a bunch of books called the No BS series. So like the No BS marketing, the No BS management. And Dan said, and Hal echoed this, he said, at some point in the future, the size of your database is going to be more important than the quality of your work. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because we're all very proud of the hard work that we put in. But just to clarify, Alec, we're primarily talking to loan officers here, right?
Likely.
Okay, so
I don't have a big reach elsewhere.
Yeah, and there you go. So let's say, for example, a new VA construction to perm product comes out, and Alec is a better loan officer than I am. He's kept in touch with his clients better than I have. He services his clients at a higher level. They remember his name, and so his database is 500 people of clients that really love and respect him. He's crushing. And let's just say, like, I've done a good job, but not a great job. I've got the job done, but I didn't leave everybody with this wow feeling. But I've got 15,000 people in my database or in a Facebook group or eyeballs on me or in a mailing list. Well, guess what, man? When that new product comes out, construction to perm, VA, widget, whatever, when I can go to my audience of 15,000 and Alec can go to his audience of 500, even if he's converting at 10 times the clip that I am, I still win and I still get more clients. So now that's not to say that I don't do a good job. That's not to say that I, could care less about my pipeline or my clients or my loan process or my professionalism. No, I care about all of those things, but we've just got to get in front of more people like that. That's just the name of the game right now. And sadly, I think it's only going to get more dramatic as we go into the future.
So number one, I agree 1,000%. And then all of a sudden, even going back to your analogy, Scott, like imagine that you and I are those loan officers in question, and we're both at the same level of expertise, and we're both competent, and you got 15,000 and I got 500. And now it's like, holy crap, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. And we all see it. And so you got inspired, you started building these groups. How big are the groups that you're a part of?
So I have one that's just for loan officers that has 3,000 or so. I have a couple other groups that I would say that I have influence in, whatever the hell that means, that have about 10,000 in it.
Oh, no, hold on. I want to pause because you made a joke about it, but it's not. Like, you have a voice,
right,
through your hard work in those digital communities. Like, that's a real thing.
Sometimes it's hard work. Sometimes it's just me being obnoxious.
Just you trolling people? Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, yeah. So there are probably a cross section of, 10,000 loan officers that I have some type of influence with, where, if I make a post, I'm going to get some interaction. And then the goal with this Generate group that I just started, which I would love everybody to be part of, is I said, the message in the book that I wrote, which is Lead Generate 61 Days of WPay, shameless self-promotion, the message in there, it's really for any entrepreneur, fully commissioned individual. So this new Generate group that I'm building, and I think we're up to about 2,000 people in that group. I want all of my realtors. I want anybody that sells knives or insurance products or door-to-door widgets, or they're an entrepreneur and they own a bakery. Like, basically anybody who needs to sell something to make a living, I want them in that Generate group, because there's so many principles that we are all living in the mortgage industry. And there's so much that we have had to do in a shifting environment to build our business and stay relevant and keep lead generating and manage our pipeline and be business owners and be salespeople and be processors and be doc drawers. Like, there's so many skills that are transferable to any other industry. So, like, why not go on that journey with other people alongside us instead of just hiding and pretending like this, doing loans thing is a secret sauce?
So let's do this before we go into how and why you actually are, how physically you're doing this. What has this done for your business, for your life? What are these groups that you've pioneered done for you?
My wife would really like the answer to that question. And I think that's what's so challenging, right? Like, yes, I do mortgages and I do well for myself, but I'm not, the number one guy in the country. Sometimes I lose focus and I do things like open a coaching business. And I think we have a phenomenal coaching business for loan officers, but we don't have thousands of clients. We've got 100 clients. And then my wife's like, so what are you going to do with this Generate group? Like, is there a monetization, return on investment? Is this just to pimp out like your mortgage business? And I'm like, no, none of that. Just doing it to do it because I wanted another side project. And I really have no motive or end goal. I just know that it's kind of like that Field of Dreams thing, right? If you build it, they will come. Like one day if this Generate group gets up to 10 or 20,000 people in it, and I say, hey guys, I don't know, we're going to do a live lead generation seminar for 2 days, and who's got $200 to come to LA to do a live, maybe that's the end result. I don't really know. It's kind of just been like, I have ADD, or I mean, not diagnosed, but I'm sure I have something like that, or maybe it's like the second level or fifth level of ADD. So it's like, in addition to my core business, which I spend 40, 50 hours a week on, I've always got to have these little side projects going, or I just don't feel fulfilled. And one time I had a realtor busting my balls about like, oh, well, maybe you couldn't get back to me because you got all this other stuff going on. I'm like, no, I get back to you at 10 o'clock at night because I put in my 8 or 10 hours a day on loan officer stuff. And then instead of watching reruns of The Walking Dead like you're doing, I just go build a side business for 2 hours. Then I spend 2 hours with my family. Then I come back to work at 10 o'clock at night. And so we've got plenty of time, all of us, to do these little side projects and side hustles, or don't. I don't really care. But if you're interested in getting eyeballs on you, it's 100% free to build all this stuff. Like,
well, that's what I want people to hear, dude. And that's what I think everyone's not understanding and or not connecting the dots on, right? Maybe they understand, they're not connecting the dots. Your ability to start a Facebook group, Generate, to get people connected, to have them sharing leads, sharing ideas, sharing community, and you started it when?
I started it 60 days ago, I think.
And you have 2,000 people in it?
Yes.
Now, Scott, for everyone paying attention to that doesn't just happen. Scott's good at this, and like he works hard at this. But like I'm watching that being like, holy crap, dude, you're just putting a megaphone in front of your mouth. Because to your point, Scott, if you want to put out a message that says, call me for a purchase loan or a refi loan, or this new product came out, you've got this audience that you've been investing in. Because you're not just on there, humble bragging. I'm in some of these groups. You're not just putting your reviews out and like, I'm amazing, but you're out there. And I just shared it on Facebook for the Generate group, so you guys can join. We'll get the link on YouTube and LinkedIn. But this is you pouring into other people with no expectation, no secret. Buy my ebook for $80 on the way out.
No ebook yet.
No ebook yet. But at the same time, you're watching these people respond, build influence, build relationship with Scott. And then when it's time for reciprocation, when it's time for, hey, help me, this is the opportunity he's generating around himself. And this is what it's like when you lead a digital community. So Scott, let me ask you this. How much, because I've seen it, so I know the answer, but I want you to share, like, how often are you feeding into that community, helping build it, giving value to it? Kind of describe that.
Yeah. So here's, I think the trick for all this is you've got to put out content and contribution without getting consumed. I had the benefit of partnering up with somebody several years back that told me like, hey, one of the criteria of us partnering up together in the mortgage business is you just got to stop arguing about politics on Facebook. Because I was the guy that would write, a 27 paragraph dissertation on the libertarian thought process. And it was intense, right? And I realized that I was getting absolutely consumed by social media instead of just being there to provide content and also to give contribution, right? And so what I do now is I say like, okay, cool, like 4 times a day, roughly, when I wake up around 9 o'clock and then twice throughout the day, I'm going to go on, I'm going to post something of value. I'm only going to interact with my inner circle in those groups that I run. There's 3 different groups that I run. One of them is a paid group, so you can't just jump in there. But, I'm going to give a contribution to them. I'm going to add content to them. And then after I kind of got in that rhythm and the group started to grow, well, then I could afford a, virtual assistant in the Philippines for $8 an hour, who then updates me throughout the day. Like, hey, Alec tagged you in this. I think this is something you want to respond to. Or she'll respond to my incoming Facebook messages, which gets weird sometimes because she's seen some stuff on Facebook Messenger that maybe I would like her to unsee. But it's all about contribution and content without getting consumed into the endless bullshit that's on social media. And I'm still not perfect. I still get sucked into a political argument once in a while, but I'll live with it.
But guys, please hear the echo chamber of this, from Phil to Neil to Ryan and Jessica to Scott. Like, some of our content is a one-way street. It's just us humble bragging about how good we are. And then we're forgetting that the real power of this is to connect and add value to others. to validate others, to communicate and be in the conversation. You know, Neil said it about Instagram, like comment on other stuff. That's how you get people to follow you back.
Yep.
Like, and Scott's sharing the exact same thing. If you're willing to build a group, pull people in, add value selflessly, all of a sudden now you're going to build a community of people around you, and it can transform your business and your life.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like I could go into my group every day and tell people to spend $14 on this book or whatever Amazon has it listed at. At the end of the day, that's just me self-promoting. So what am I doing? Instead, I'm going live every single day at 9 o'clock, like clockwork. I read a chapter in the book, which is like 3 or 4 pages. I'm giving out 100% of my content for free. And I don't even know why I'm doing it. Because like I said, the Generate group has yet to have a principle or a thought process or a monetization. I just want everybody in there. I want it to be a safe space where every other loan officer can bring every one of their realtors if they want, without feeling like anybody's advertising to them. I've already cut off some of the self-promotion in the group.
Yeah, just and like, then fuck.
You be really clear about what you want to accomplish, and then you just contribute from that point, right? And that is the one thing I would say is, like, even if you don't know what the end result is, be kind of clear about your rules, be clear about what you want to do, be clear about the contribution you want to give. Because I just had a guy pitch me on turning the Generate series into a podcast, and I sent him about 4 paragraphs of exactly how that might work. And he wrote me back. He's like, whoa. He's like, you don't fuck around. He's like, you actually know what you want to accomplish with this stuff. I have never had somebody get ready to sign up for a podcast. And by the way, this guy charges $20,000 to build out your entire podcast network. He's like, I'm reading the email right now. He said, I've never had anybody follow up with exact details about where they're at and where they're going. So again, I don't have a way or an idea on how to monetize anything to do with this Generate group, but I know what the purpose and the mission is. And it's crazy to me that this guy that is a very well-known podcast setter upper of things, he's like, oh yeah, nobody ever has like that much of a mission. They're like, well, I'll just go online and talk. And he's like, well,
yes,
that doesn't work.
So let's talk about this then. Let's go into it, Scott. If somebody's like, holy crap, they're seeing in this conversation the opportunity that's for them in their city, their space, their digital community, they're like, oh, I should be doing this. How do you coach them? How do you set them up for it? What are the pitfalls? You just hit a couple of them. So like, have your purpose, like hit it again, but like, how would you coach somebody to do this?
Yeah, if you're going to build, I think a Facebook group is the lowest lying fruit, right? Because you can even start a Facebook group with your immediate circle of friends that are really into Frisbee golf, and you get your 8 friends in there for Frisbee golf. And like, this is how this stuff starts, right? Then they invite their friends and then whatever. I had an assistant. This is the craziest shit, Alec. I had an assistant. Tell me this is not like a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche. He was in a adult male roller coaster enthusiast, gays only. There was 30,000 people in that group. So here's a group of guys that are all gay, that all love like this roller coaster lifestyle where they tour around the world going on roller coasters. And they make retreats out of it and stuff like that. And they're all these roller coaster enthusiasts. And the dude that runs that group, he's making bank organizing these trips. Now he has a membership program where like this little pamphlet on new roller coasters that are opening around the world go. I mean, think about that, 30,000 people that are in this Venn diagram of Venn diagram of Venn diagrams. And then people are like, well, I don't have anything interesting to talk about. Like, everybody's got something, right? So maybe you're going to do it for business. Maybe you're going to be the, East Stevenson Ranch HOA expert, and you're going to get everybody in that neighborhood in there. Or maybe you're going to be, the Alec Hansen. Like, I want to teach people in the mortgage industry how to do social media 2.0. Like, whatever the case may be, I think the Facebook group is the lowest lying fruit. And then the easy thing is you just invite every single friend that you have that is in that Venn diagram of interest into that group, private message them, ask them to be part of the group and contribute. So that's kind of how you start. And then I will tell you, you need a couple plants. you need a couple undercover agents. And whether you pay them or you bribe them with a steak dinner or you give them some type of discount in whatever world you work in, Facebook really rewards the algorithmic interaction early on in the history of anything. So if you do a live post, the quicker somebody likes it or comments on it, the more the algorithm is going to push it out. So what you need, and if my buddy Hal Elrod was on this post, he would admit to you that his huge group of 250,000 people started with him posting a question and then texting 5 of his really, really close friends. Hey, bro, can you respond to that question real quick? And then it started, they basically were professional moderators for each other. And it started this critical mass where like, oh, well, John commented on Hal's thing. So then Facebook pushed out to Alex, who then felt interested in commenting. And then Scott was another plant. I came in on commenting on Alex thing. So there is a little bit of gaming the system where you want to find people that are on your team that you can either pay or bribe or call in some favors and get them to put authentic content into your group. So the Facebook algorithm says like, oh, this is an interactive group where people are actually communicating. Yep. We need to push this out to more group members. So I have failed at doing that in the past. And on the Generate group, I've got a couple professional moderators.
You know, I want to hit this besides the hack, which is fun to like, because that's where we go next level on this. What Scott said here, guys, I think everyone may have missed. It doesn't need to be about mortgage. Like it needs to be about something that you care about. This is like building digital community. This isn't say building digital mortgage people. This is building digital community. Everyone knows you're going to do mortgages. Everyone's going to know that. Like, it's fine. You know, I joked earlier because I got a buddy who's running a podcast on adult men's baseball leagues, and he's killing it. He's getting business from it all the time, and it's not nothing to do with mortgage. And this is your opportunity. It's right in front of you. I talk about it like it's the gold rush of our generation. This is not going to happen again. Like your chance to build this connection, your chance to put yourself out there and then pour into it is not going to happen again. So it's like it's unbelievable timing to make this thing happen. And Scott, you've been doing it again and again for multiple groups, from mortgage centric to coaching to Generate, which is awesome. What pitfalls can you share to avoid if somebody's getting into this?
Oh man, it can be a total time suck. It can be a total time drain, right? Like you have to know that you're building for the future. So just to give you some context for anybody that's watching, I've been doing this loan racket for like 20 years. I've come just at the tippy top of hitting 100 million by myself several times. My previous partner, Justin Bale, awesome, huge shout out to awesome guy, Justin Bale. We hit over 100 million a couple years together. I will be honest, for the last 10 years, it would have been way more profitable for me to stay off of social media, not have a Facebook account, head down, email database, cold call 50 of my own clients every day, cold call 50 realtors. 100% would have been more profitable for the last 10 years. But where I think we got ahead of the curve a little bit is I think for the next 10 years, yes, I'm going to be way more profitable because I've done all of this and I've built the groups and I have the people in there. So, you know, I made a big gamble. Like I've probably left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table by not just grinding mortgages. And there's a lot of guys in the top 5 of Scotsman Guide that are doing 200, 300, 500 million a year who they don't even have a Facebook page. So I'm not saying this is the only way to do things, but I believe that we're going to start to see a shift where those people's numbers over the next 10 years are going to go like this. And people who have engaged in social media and are giving out a ton of value, their numbers are going to start to go like this. And I don't know where those two, you know, inverted yield curves meet and do that little dance. But I think this has been a good investment. And frankly, I just enjoy it more. Like I can maybe make 50 grand more a year by making 50 cold calls a day, or I can have a good time and be playing racquetball. By the way, this actually happened. And somebody walks in, they're like, "Oh God, are you Scott Groves?" And I really thought I was going to get my ass beat. I was like, "Oh, did I sleep with your girlfriend in high school or something?" And he's like, "No, I'm a loan officer. Like, I just want to say thanks. I really enjoy the stuff you put out there." Like that made me feel good. That really pumped my ego up, and then I went and did like 5 videos that night. So I think it's going to be worthwhile. The biggest thing, don't get sucked into it. You know, don't consume more than your lifestyle allows. And then the other big pitfall is, you know, right now it's very toxic and dangerous to maybe be your 100% authentic self. I would say do it anyway. Like you're going to find your tribe that wants to follow you and wants to do business with you. Like there's plenty of people that have opted out of my funnel as sadly clients and referral sources that just don't get what they just don't get me, or we disagree, or I wore some hat with a snake on it because I'm a libertarian and that really pissed them off because they were a Republican or they were a Democrat. And I'm like, well, I don't really care. That's who I am. I'm not going to hide who I am. I don't hide pictures of my kids. I'm not going to hide like who I am or what I believe. So yeah, those are the traps. Too much consumption and not being authentic, because then people just know you're full of shit.
But and everyone listening that heard the traps, there's also something there that you might have missed earlier by Scott. Number one, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And you can use it watching, you know, Dawn of the Dead and Walking Dead, or you can use it to build a Facebook community. You know, in addition to the hard work you're doing, slinging loans and helping customers and dealing with underwriting issues and all that other stuff that comes along with your day-to-day. So that's a huge, you know, if you believe in it, if you think this matters, then you're going to put the time aside to it. And then the other theme that's been happening all day on this collab, guys, is there are so many paths to the customer. There's so many paths to the customer. You know, if you're like, I don't want to be on Instagram, it's like, well, then build Facebook communities. If you're like, I don't want to do that, then start building a podcast network and putting your voice out into the world and sharing what you're passionate about. And this avenue, though, what Scott has done and what I see him do, and the reason I want him to share his insight on this stuff is it's low-hanging fruit, man. It's like right there in front of you. And by the way, this is so powerful. If you've been in retail lending for a long time, you realize that a lot of your business was geographically limited. It's where you could drive to, where the open houses were on the weekends, you know, where the real estate companies were. There's no geographical limitations on the internets. I mean, Scott's groups span the entire country and probably people outside of the country, which he can't give loans for, but, you know, maybe if he wants to do a trip, they can help him out with an Airbnb or something. But like, this is the power of digital communities. This is the power of it.
You know, shout out to RJ, who's a regional manager down in San Diego that you and I both know for a mortgage company. Great guy. One of his big initiatives is he's telling all of his loan officers, I want every loan officer in my region licensed in at least 3 states. One, because you've got a lot of people, you know, COVID-19 is showing us you can work from anywhere. You don't have to be geographically relevant anymore. So we've got a lot of Californians moving to Nevada and, you know, Boise, Idaho, and Phoenix, Arizona. And then a lot of people there moving here because they're like, well, if I'm going to be stuck at home, I want to be in nicer weather where I can go work outside. So he's like, I want all my people licensed in multiple states, because that's going to be the new normal. You know, if you can't market and keep up with somebody when they move from San Diego to LA to Phoenix, let's be honest, man, your physical mail is not going to do it. Your email is probably going to the spam filter. But if they can see pictures of your kids and they know what you're up to and they can celebrate your successes, that's huge, right? And you can only do that on social media digitally. And so, you know, come up with a content calendar. There's some easy ones. If you guys want to email me at scott@scottgrovesteam.com. I'll send you my content calendar. It's just like Monday is a business success, Tuesday is a personal story, Wednesday is a funny story about, you know, the business world in general, Thursday is something motivational, and on and on and on and on and on. So, you know, it's just you get into a rhythm, and I used to use that content calendar. Now I kind of just know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's not as hard as you think. Pick something that you like doing and build a group around it.
So guys, I know this is in the comments on Facebook and LinkedIn, so you can't click it when I show it on the screen, but this is a great example of what the group's doing. So if you're seeing this, I know you can't click on the screen, scroll up in the comments and click on it and go over there, and you'll start to see what's happening in this community. And you can start to take a lesson from a guy who's done it for years now and who's continuing to build value in it and go, hey, is this for me? Because I'm telling you right now, if it is, and you can find your niche within a niche or whatever it is you're going to talk about, it can generate huge opportunity for you in the long run. Huge influence and opportunity for you in the long run. So we got 4 minutes, dude. Scott, what's your final kind of words of wisdom to the people that are listening on this topic?
You know, I would say have fun, right? Like, yes. Have fun and be yourself, because you and I are both fans of Gary Vaynerchuk, and some people are a little burnt out on him because that guy is omni-channel everywhere. Like once you watch one of his videos, you can't escape. Yeah. But he talks a lot about his sidecar issue, right? And his sidecar issue is, even if you're never going to hire Gary Vaynerchuk, you're never going to work in, you know, media or social media or marketing, like, people that are in his geographical area can relate to the fact that he wants to own the Jets. Like, he talks a lot about making enough money in this game so that one day he can own the Jets. I talk a lot about drinking iced tea and smoking cigars. Like, a lot of my posts or my still pictures or Instagram, I love cigars. My wife, not a huge fan. Hopefully they'll learn how to regrow lips by the time I get some type of weird lip cancer. But at the end of the day, I really love them. And so I'll show up to a live event, and I don't ask for this stuff. I don't pander for it, but it's like, I'll show up at a live event and somebody will walk up and be like, hey man, this is my favorite smoke. This is the Liga Privada T52 Robusto. You got to try one. And I'm like, hi, I'm Scott. And they're like, yeah, I'm Bill, man. I just really love your shit. I thought I'd buy you a cigar. And I'm like, that's wicked. So, pick something that you're in love with and just talk about it. Have it be the side issue, and I think there's such an opportunity to just be yourself and find other people who like you. They like you. They really, really like you. Like that Saturday Night Live skit, right?
Yeah.
They love me. They really, really love me. And then you'll find people that want to connect with you. And then once in a blue moon, you'll ask them to do business with you and you'll make a lot of money.
Dude, mic drop that. That was so good. It's so true. Scott, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you for leading the way in this space, man. You're the man, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope everybody else goes and joins Generate right now and finds out what's really happening in that space because it kicks ass, dude. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you.
Talk to you later, brother.
Talk later.
Man, dive into the waters, team. Like, how much more proof do you need? Dive into the waters. I don't care where, but go all in and have some fun with your career, with yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously. At the end of all that stuff is unbelievable opportunity if you're willing to play in the space. I hope it brought you value today. Please go find these wonderful human beings online, connect with them, follow them, see what they're doing. Man, I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I'll see you on the internet.